Welcome, everybody, to the usual chaos of I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. You see, for you guys, you're watching me. I'm watching me too, staring at the screen and can't see any of you. So it's the kind of weirdest thing, but I kind of enjoy it, and usually it's a bit of fun. Um, so we this in this episode of Drinks with Raoul, we're going to be talking drinks, obviously, culture because you guys are Philistines, and we need to culturally. If I think about our YouTube channel, it's like average age between 30 and 40. You guys have now got kids, or you're thinking about it, and suddenly you realize you've got to grow up. And so somehow you need to be able to go to a nice restaurant, order some wine, and know how to behave. So I'm going to teach you that. And then I'm going to teach you about the banana zone. And then I'm going to teach you about the economic singularity. And then we're going to have some questions. So there's a lot to pack in. And I'm going to talk a bit of food as well, because I think it's important. And I've got dinner tonight, so I can talk you through that. But before I start, I'm going to pester you a few times on this. Is click the fucking button to subscribe to this. I'm not doing this for no reason. This dog and pony show of me getting drunk at 3:30 in the afternoon. And by the way, that's Paul Guerra's fault. I'm going to blame him. He claims it's not his fault. But Paul, who runs our social media, has got me doing this at 3:30. Who drinks at 3:30? This is not civilized. Right? Civilization, really? Should have a drink. But he's from South America. He doesn't understand civilization. So that's fine. And for the Aussies joining us as ever, please feel free to have your breakfast beer, because that's what you guys will do. So let's start talking first about the important things, the really important things, bananas and all of that. Yeah, whatever. First, what are we drinking? Oh, that's good. Okay, so last episode we were drinking a very rare Rioja. It's difficult to find, and it was exceptional. This time we're going to jot across to France, or jot up to France. Now, with red wines, you find amazing red wines all across the world, from Lebanon to Argentina. But when it comes to, well, there's certain places that do things very well. And there's a certain region of France that does what it does better than anywhere else in the planet. Firstly, the region of Burgundy makes the best Pinot Noir in the world. Nothing else comes close. Everything else is kind of stupid, extracted, fruity mess. Burgundy, um, Pinot Noir from Burgundy is exceptional. But when it comes to whites, the white Burgundies, there is literally no competition. Of all white wines, nothing comes close. Champagne, maybe, but that's it. So what I have here is an exceptionally beautiful wine, which is a Meursault. Meursault, like all of the wines of Burgundy, are all 100% Chardonnay. So it has that butteriness, slight vanilla, slight whiff of oak. Delicious. Now, Meursault is slightly further south, so it's more concentrated. So it's butterier, and it's got a bit kind of like stewed pineapple-y, kind of slightly stronger flavors. My actual favorite wines of Burgundy are probably, well, Bâtard Montrachet. So you would spell that Montrachet or Montrachet if you were doing it. Bâtard, that is unbelievable. It's just bloody expensive. I've got a bottle here, it's like $800. That's stupid. In the middle is Chassagne Montrachet, which is kind of lemony, but still that beautiful Chardonnay, quite elegant. Sometimes they add a bit. They've moved up the alcohol levels a bit, so it's a bit sweeter than it used to be. This is this Robert Parkerization of wine I've talked about. And then you get to Puligny Montrachet, which is like just beautiful. It's got kind of this flinty mineralness of the soil, which is quite dry, and it's got this perfect balance. And these wines are magnificent. So Meursault, lovely as ever. I'll show you the bottle. It's not a fine grower. Louis Latour is a negociant. He sells it. So this is from various vineyards, but I didn't want to give you a wine that was unbuyable. But Meursault, you will find fabulous. You can find this pretty easily, Louis Latour or any of these. So that's the Meursault. Now, to go with it, obviously, I have my famous bowl of nuts. Sometimes I would have cheese or jamon from Spain or crostini or something like that. But today I've gone yet again for the pumpkin seeds. These are roasted in the oven with extra virgin olive oil. This is Spanish olive oil because Spain is the largest producer of olive oil in the world. And I've spent a long time in Spain. I've had a house there for 20 years. Spanish olive oil I find particularly good. Pumpkin seeds. So I roast these, drizzle some olive oil on them. And then today I've got them with, so Malden is the king of salt. But I'm trying to get that so you can see it. You can't. Malden is the king of salt. It's from England. It's sea salt flakes. This is a smoked flavor to give a bit of extra depth to the nuts, a bit more umami. So that's what we've got with that today. So we've got delicious snacks to go with it, delicious glass of wine. And tonight, I'm trying not to get shit faced today because I've got a guest for dinner who's the lawyer from Real Vision who happens to be here in Cayman for the week, Chris. And we've got sous vide steaks. I've got 3-inch thick ribeye, which I cut off the bone, and I've put them in a sous vide. So that's a vacuum sealed bag in a water bath. So I've got a big sous vide machine. You can buy the handheld ones. And what it does is cooks it in water. So you can't overcook it. So you get it to the perfect temperature, 132 degrees Fahrenheit. That's exactly the temperature of a medium rare, just to the slightly low side. And then what you do is I've seasoned it with some amazing, again, some smoked salt, some pepper, a couple of spices here and there. It then cooks for 4 hours. You can't overcook it because it just takes it to the temperature of the water, which is really clever. And then you put it onto the super hot grill just to sear it to get the caramelization of the fats and the meat. And I've got that with a beautiful rocket salad, toasted pine nuts, sliced tomato, olive oil, Parmesan shavings. Simple dinner. And we're serving it with a bottle of Rioja. Now, what have we got? Vinho Bosconia. I think it's a 94. Bosconia is one of the great wines of Spain. It's the sister wine to Vinho Tondonia that I've talked about before, which is literally my favorite wine in Spain. My favorite wine in the entire world is Vinho Tondonia 1970. Very hard to buy, but fuck me, it's good. It's like silk and strawberries. 1970, 2 years younger than me. Anyway, so that's that. So I'm going to go and put my wine back in the fridge. But this is an important point. We've got questions coming in a second. And, well, later on in the show. You can't ask me questions on YouTube. So you lazy fuckers need to spend the time when I go to the fridge to go to realvision.com, sign up. It's free. Or you can use the weird whatever thing, the square with your camera, the QR code. You can go and do that. Go over there because then you can ask me questions. And you'll be blown away by the difference of the experience on Real Vision platform with the AI, the charts, the data center, the amazing note-taking section, the incredible new trade templates, which I'll talk to you more about probably another time, but that's ridiculously cool. And the community, be able to network within the Real Vision community, which is the smartest network in the world. Incredible stuff. So do me a favor, just go over to realvision.com. It doesn't cost a bloody thing. And it's going to take you less time than it takes me. Literally, it's going to be 5 seconds. Go there, put your details in, come back. I'll go and put my wine back in the fridge because I don't want to drink warm white wine because I am not a Philistine. So I'm going to be back in a second. You've got time to go and do that. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. And you guys who are in YouTube and for some reason you're too fucking lazy to go across to realvision.com or you're just rude, you can still help me in the YouTube channel by populating the comment section with what your favorite wine is. So we can all learn from each other about some great wines and give us a reason why. But I don't really understand why you wouldn't go to realvision.com because I'm asking you. Anyway, I'm going to put this back in the fridge. I'll be back in a sec once you've signed up. Did you do it? You sure? You subscribe to the YouTube channel? Right, let's go. Let's talk fucking bananas. Banana zone. Most of you who are on Twitter have seen me talk about the banana zone. This is a concept that Julian Bittle and myself introduced back in August when we were actually talking about the banana zone of Q4, when we started saying, you know, the liquidity profile, the election, the pre-election year, all of this leads to a melt up in assets in Q4. And we started with the banana zone. We even had some memes of bananas in pajamas and did this ridiculous thing. Anyway, it paid off perfectly. But the banana zone is a much bigger concept. And I put a big long tweet thread that I urge you to read about it. And I know a lot of you have. It was hugely well received, explaining that it's not just, oh, Raoul's posted a chart that crypto goes up like this at the end of the cycle. It's nothing to do with that. It's why. It's about liquidity. It's about liquidity cycles. It's about debt refinancing. It's about the everything code. And if you haven't watched the everything code, you don't know what it is, I urge you to watch the video on this channel, Raoul Pal, the Journeyman. It's so important, I can't express. And then watch the major updates I did, the big crypto updates. It'll tell you all about this. But anyway, the banana zone is that period when you transition out of macro crypto spring into crypto macro summer. Now, it happens to bizarrely coincide with the transition to summer that many of us are having. I mean, the Cayman Islands, it's summer all the time. I know your heart bleeds for me, but some of us got to live this life. I take it seriously. So the banana zone is when that happens. Usually after the halving, there's this consolidation period, down 20%, chopping around, usual stuff. And then it starts gathering, and then it goes crazy. So let me show you a couple of charts on this, just so we're on the same page. So this is global liquidity. This is the GMI global liquidity. This was on that tweet thread. Now, it's a very colorful chart. You probably can't read it. If you're colorblind, you're totally fucked. But what it says is the yellow periods are summer. In summer, what we find is liquidity increases. This is global liquidity, not US liquidity, global liquidity. So in summer, liquidity starts increasing. Obviously, 2020, because of the pandemic, it went bananas. But 2016, 2012, these were good periods for liquidity. And guess what? Crypto, technology, they all rose. Then you get into fall. Fall is often when the real fireworks happen. Liquidity keeps pumping and then eventually tops out into winter. That's when you get the corrections, the crypto down cycles. So we've got the best two parts of the cycle to come. Obviously, the best entry was at the bottom of winter. That's when I was buying Solana, Ethereum, all back then. And then I've obviously switched around. So I'm pretty much 100% Solana right now, outside of small meme stuff and other bits and pieces. Because Solana, the Solana Bitcoin cross chart, Solana ETH cross chart looks so compelling that I'm like, if my job here is to make as much money as possible, I'm just going to own the thing that I think is going to go up the most. So that was the view I had. You will have a different way, but please don't get stuck into a narrative. You're still stuck in some fucking token from 3 cycles ago because somebody's telling you that it's going to definitely be the next big thing. It's not big thing after 3 cycles, 2 cycles. It's not going to be the big thing. So just try and make money. I'm trying to allow you not to fuck this up. Don't fuck this up is the key mantra. When you've got a liquidity cycle ahead of you like this, please take advantage of it. The next part of that is the NASDAQ. Maybe you're not crypto people, but God, tech does well in crypto summer. We had an astonishing year last year with long tech all year, astonishingly good year in tech, and it's only going to get crazier. And I'll talk about tech a lot later when I'm talking about where this is all going and why you've only got 6 years to save yourselves before the world gets a little crazy. But in tech, it is fall that is the big period. The later part of the season is when it goes really bananas. That's after the election. This is the same as the election cycle. The election years are in yellow, then the post-election years, that tends to happen. So liquidity is going to pump into the system. It's going to come from different measures. I'm sure there's going to be questions about this in the chat on Real Vision, realvision.com. If you've not gone there, I'm not going to talk to you ever again. If you do come across the realvision.com, I'll say hi and I'll be very grateful. And it's free and I'm there to ask any questions. Okay, NASDAQ, crypto, because you're all crypto junkies. And the reason you're crypto junkies is it makes more money than anything else. I get it. That's the point. That's the point of investing, is to make as much money as possible. So yellow tends to be in the summer, tends to be decent, but there's been 2 cycles where fall was bananas, total bananas. And then you had the last fall in 2021, which was less so. It's because the liquidity came earlier in 2020. So we don't know how it's going to play out, but this is how it should play out is here's a chart from Exponential Age Asset Management, which is my fund of hedge funds. So it's an asset management firm that invests in the world's best hedge funds to capture this trend of going from $2.5 billion, where the market cap is now, to 10 trillion, where 10 to 15 trillion, where it is this cycle, and then to 100 trillion, where I think it goes by, let's say 2032, 2034, something like that. This is going to be the biggest, largest, fastest accumulation of wealth in all human history. And that's why I keep saying, don't fuck this up. That's why I have a long-term time horizon. That's why I don't trade around this. Just let it do its job. So here's when we talk about doing its job. So we look at the bottom, the highest return section and the lowest return section. So out of the 3 years, crypto spring, macro spring, summer, and fall, crypto is the best performing asset in the world. Bar none. In the next year, in fall, it's the worst performing asset. Okay, so that's what you get. But when you look at the accumulative returns, NASDAQ since 2011 has done 769%. That's amazing. 17% a year. Well, Bitcoin's done 20 million percent at 139% annualized. Ethereum, 324% at 146% annualized. And Solana, which is a shorter history, 8,300% at 203% annualized. These are bonkers. These are bonkers returns, considering in the middle of those, you've had several down 80% corrections, which is why even the big corrections, how terrible they are, they're all noise. If you just hold on, you're generating between 140 and 200% a year. I mean, Solana's at 240% and it went down 94% in 2022. That's how good this asset is. It's an alien asset class. And I know I bleat up a lot about it, and a lot of you are still not yet comfortable with it, but I can't help you anymore that I'm trying to help you to see what this is. It's a fucking gift. It's the greatest gift we've ever been given. So here's the final thing. This is the banana zone. Why it's called the banana zone is because the chart A looks like a banana and B, everything goes bananas. And that comes after the halving, after this consolidation, it does this. Will it be identical? Is 300 grand the price target? Whatever. I don't know, but it will go bananas unless something dramatic changes. And I do an enormous amount of work on this in Global Macro Investor. And you should, is this chart up on the screen? I'm not sure it is. Okay. Oh, okay. I think I've got a delay. And so I do an enormous amount of work. There's literally thousands of pages of research from Julian Bittel and myself on this. So this is not just some flippant comments. We'd see liquidity rising going forwards. There's sources of liquidity everywhere, from the Fed cutting rate, from the Treasury draining the general account, to the Fed cutting QT, to potentially the Treasury offering some liquidity provisions to China so they can manage the debt deflation. They're starved of dollars. Something with Japan, who also needs dollars because there's their currency's been collapsing. There is a lot of opportunities. The Europeans are going to cut rates. The UK are going to cut rates. There's a lot of opportunity for liquidity. The Fed may, let's say, spin up a special purpose vehicle to get rid of commercial real estate from the banks. Who knows? But the cowbell is coming. Listen out for it. It's already started. So the banana zone is all cowbell and markets going parabolic. So hopefully that gives you some understanding of what I think lies ahead. Will it be perfect? No. Does it chop around here for another month or two? Could do. Does it finish? If I look at the previous cycles, two of them ended in the third week of May, the consolidation, and then went. And the other one was July 2020. But 2020 was weird because we had the pandemic in the middle. It was kind of a screwy cycle. So I don't know, it's close. They all look like they're making perfect wedge patterns, all of that. Everything else seems good. What's also great about macro spring, macro summer and fall, is that you can basically take any asset, it's going to go up. So all commodities, those of you who love commodities, copper's done well, it'll go up. Gold will go up. Oil eventually will do. Doesn't feel great right now. Oil stocks will, mining stocks will, all cyclical plays will. Tech stocks, semiconductors, they all do phenomenally well. Crypto does. So you can be the moron, which is a nice way to be in markets. Nobody wants to try and overthink stuff. And pretty much anything you buy will go up. But some things will go up more than others. That's how I look at the world. Everything's fucking correlated. Everything. The everything code cycle of the 4-year debt refi cycle means that everything gets correlated. A few assets lead, crypto and tech. Others follow the business cycle. The business cycle's bottoming, so they all bottom. But they're all correlated. Everything's correlated. So for me, I like to keep everything really moronically simple. If everything's correlated, then there is no such thing as diversification. In fact, I made a big presentation to a big family office network, to lots of very famous US gigantically wealthy families, and my presentation is diversification is dead. And I just said, listen, so all you do if that's the case, you just look at all the charts, and we got to, hey, the best performing stock market in the world is the NASDAQ, isn't it amazing? Technology, you'll get technology. And they're like, yeah, okay, we're investing in this. We can see the AI revolution, the robots, everything else. We get it, technology. I'm like, yeah. Divide the NASDAQ chart by Bitcoin, and NASDAQ is down 99.93%. I'm like, you're in the wrong asset. It's as simple as that. It's a supermassive black hole. So anyway, enough boring you on crypto. Let's talk a bit about. No, actually, let's just finish up on crypto. It is really important to me when I set up this whole thing for Real Vision to guide people through this massive transition. This transition into a new system where the old system is broken. We're forced to speculate. The system is rigged against us. Asset prices keep going up. Wages don't go up. Everybody's polarized. Everybody hates each other. You throw in immigration, global trade, you throw in aging populations, you throw in AI, robotics, right? This is not easy for anybody. And everybody just feels like it's out of their control. And I get it, but you've been given the gift. Crypto is the gift. And all you have to do is not fuck this up. So we did start, because we have in Real Vision an amazing pro crypto community and product, but it's expensive. It's like $3,500, because it's for those people who really want to master and go on the journey from knowledge to wisdom. And there's all sorts of incredible content there, but it's expensive for most people. People just want a bit of help. So we recently launched the RV crypto service. It's for you guys. It's cheap as chips. Please just join it if you want some help, if you want to not fuck this up. So it's realvision.com/RVC launch. So this is, we can blame Laura for these. Laura makes these so she can say, well, Raoul, you didn't drive any traffic to that. That was a terrible, terrible show. So she tracks everything that I do, probably rightly so. So for Laura's sake, if you are interested, just click on that. So at least I can say I drove traffic. You can read the landing page, see what it's about. So at least Laura doesn't shout at me. I feel like I've done my job, CEO, trying to promote stuff. So go and do that as well. And I'd be very grateful. And look, we built it for you. I don't build it for me. I don't know that shit. You guys do. I've been doing crypto since 2013. I kind of know my way around the bits that I know and the bits that I don't know. I figure out different ways of doing it, like setting up a fund of hedge funds to invest in hedge funds who can capture the next great thing, because I'm just not good enough to do that. I can do the big trades, but not the stuff that can really move the dial, because that's hard. But Real Vision Crypto allows you, permissions you to do the degenning, to get involved, but it'll help you in how to do it. There's a sister product as well, which is the Crypto Academy, which has got amazing lessons on how to do it. So anyway, I'm trying to help you. I don't want people to come to me at the end of this cycle and go, we fucked this up. I didn't get it right, and I was holding XRP for the whole thing, and everybody else made 50x, and I've made 3x. It's not a slur on XRP, but it's just please try to get this right. I'm so passionate about it because we have 6 years. I really think 6 years to sort this shit out for us. So I'm going to fill this up. I can't drink too much because the lawyer's coming, right? And my wife will kill me. So you, again, if you're a bit late into this or just generally lazy, you're probably, I don't know, you're probably in Florida or something. So you're a bit lazy, can't be bothered. Can you just go to realvision.com and just sign up? And then you can ask questions in that because we're going to be talking some heavy shit next. And then after that, it's going to lead us into questions. So I'm going to go and refill my wine. I suggest you guys do as well. Click the subscribe button to the channel as well as the realvision.com. I know you can multitask. You're pretty smart if you're watching this, so you can do that. Leave a comment in YouTube of your favorite wine. I'd appreciate that because we will go through all of those. And maybe we'll drink one of the wines at the next time around. I'll be back. So sign up, realvision.com. You know the thing. Or go to the Real Vision Crypto RVC launch. That pleases Laura, keeps me happy, that kind of stuff. Go and do that. Right. Okay, you have to police me now. I'm not going to have another glass of wine. My wife will kill me. I'll be shit faced with the lawyer. I'll get myself fired somehow. Um, Tastes nuts. A great thing about these pumpkin seeds is they're super healthy. There's no carbs in them. Protein, good oils, really healthy. Olive oil, no seed shit. Salt gives you the thirst and the hunger, washes down the wine perfectly. But you don't drink wine on an empty stomach. It doesn't go to your head. Everything else. So anyway, just teaching you lessons about how to live properly because you guys all need help. As much as you need to understand how to trade crypto, you also need to understand how lifestyle works. Right. Let's get into some serious shit now. Settle down. Have a drink. I think we have 6 years to make as much money as possible. And I don't say that lightly. This is, again, I'm very, as you've probably learned by now, I try and distill everything down into something clean and clear. But nothing I do doesn't come with that without hundreds, if not thousands, of pages of research. Global Macro Investor, where myself, Julian Bittle, spent all the time doing the thinking, the researching, the writing that gets distilled into snippets you see, whether it's on YouTube or Twitter or even in Real Vision Pro Macros. It's a subset of what I do. It's huge amounts of research for two of us. I don't know how we do it, but it's gigantic. David Mattin came to join me at Real Vision at Global Macro Investor because I wanted to write more about the exponential age of technology. And I'm like, I started an asset management firm to try and trade the tokens that I don't know how to do. I wanted somebody in technology who could help the Global Macro Investor community get further in their understanding of the monumental changes that are coming. So we all know about the technological changes. That's all fine. I've talked about that ad nauseum, the exponential age. You know it, right? Robots, AI, genetic sciences, space travel, all of this stuff, Internet of Things, everything's 3D printing, you name it, it's all happening. It's all happening at once. The fastest pace of change of technology in all recorded history. But when you start to apply economics to it, that's when it gets interesting. People talk about the singularity, when AI is smarter than all humans and this kind of stuff, so you can't even see into the future. I get it. People talk very quickly, and I think it's now actually pretty mid-curve of the analysis of like, well, jobs, well, they're going to go, what are people going to do? Universal basic income, blah, 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 blah. So many thousands of pages in every crappy newspaper. Not that I read newspapers anymore. Same old analysis. And I went back to the magic formula The magic formula of GDP growth. In fact, I'm going to share the little thing because I want you to fully understand it. So I'm going to share another chart. I need to get to it. Okay. So this is the magic formula, and it's incredibly important. It's how is GDP growth or trend growth created? Well, it's created by population growth, productivity growth, and debt growth. Those are the three component parts. What we've had is we've had GDP declining over time, driven by an aging population. There's the aging population. It's been driving growth lower. Productivity, that's been falling too. And debt growth has been rising. So I won't go through the whole thing because I shared all of this in great detail on Real Vision Pro Macro today. So that's just a small part of what I'm talking about. But now you understand the magic formula. Let's just play around with that a little bit. So we're all seeing OpenAI's announcements yesterday and Google's today, but OpenAI, I think they are building AI using something very close to AGI, and they're building incrementally towards where they are with their technology. Sam Altman keeps saying we're very cautious what we release. They know what they've got. They're working backwards, which is why every 3 months they totally blow up every competitor and everything. It's it's the fastest, most disruptive company in history in front of our eyes. It's la la land. Anyway, let's go back to the economics. The population side of the equation has been the great restriction or growth period of humanity. As global population grows, global GDP grows. If it shrinks, as I showed you in the charts, population growth starts to shrink because there's not enough people. You need productivity to get more out of those people. But old people are less productive. So when you've got an aging population, not easy. You can have a small population, that's fine. It doesn't have to be growing much as long as they're more productive. So India will have a big population, but it's getting more productive. So they benefit from both, which is why it's the fastest growing major economy in the world. When you add in this new world is where the things that were scarce, knowledge, become infinite and free. Lawyers, accountants, all of that kind of stuff. Just all knowledge, finance people, everything. That becomes free. And the robots, well, that's physical labor for free. Sure, they won't be fixing your plumbing first. They'll be doing factory lines and they'll be doing fast food and stuff like that. But what you've basically created is infinite productive units, infinite humans. A robot plus, and we can apply a car as a robot too, right? It's Tesla. A robot plus a AI replaces humans. Now, again, I'm not worried about the human replacement thing and what are we all going to do? Oh my God, we'll figure that out. We're a highly adaptive species. What I'm more interested in, what does an economy look like? And I've written about this in The Exponentialist. I'll talk a bit about The Exponentialist later because it is really special. But I've written about this, and David Mattin talks about this a lot, is okay. And there's a group at Oxford that have been looking at this as well. Okay, so under the magic formula, we're going to see more robots and more AI. And we've seen this in Amazon, where the robots are increasing while the human workforce is not. And over time, you'll have a massive difference between the humans and the robots. This is immigration growth, essentially, population growth. And sometime after about 2030, it's going to be ubiquitous. It's going to be scaling everywhere. AI agents, we're speaking to AI agents. There's no humans in any of this. But what it does is it creates ludicrous GDP growth. If the robot population of the world, let's say, gets to 8 billion robots, AIs, and it goes to 10 billion, 20 billion, you're doubling, tripling the population of the world. And this will happen fast. If crypto is going to get to 4 billion users by 2030 or so, Well, AI is scaling faster than that. Crypto is the fastest adoption of any technology the world has ever seen. This is going to be everywhere. So, what you're going to do is break the laws of economics sometime after 2030. Well, we don't even understand anymore what's going on because the scarcity models of how we think about economies disappear. Then we think of the productivity part. So, productivity is really how much output you get per kilojoule of energy. Now, the Europeans are really driving this by their massive monetary stimulus into green energy. They will bring down the cost of electricity over time through innovation, and they'll drop it by half, and nuclear will drop it by half again. And that will give us a 3x multiplier on productivity, which has the multiplier effect on growth, which is being driven by the growth of the population of AI and robots. Okay, we're now in la la land. Economies don't mean anything. Scarcity doesn't mean anything. In a world of scarcity, what is money? Yes, there's some commodities, but the AI is allocating resources. The AGI helps you figure out logistics, supply chains, all of this in a way that we can't do as humans. So, what the fuck is money? It kind of changes. What do we need spending for if everything comes hyper-deflationary? How does any of this work? What happens when the AGI gets turned on stock markets? And it's not just Jim Simmons from Renaissance who can take everything. It's somebody else with the AGI who figures it out. Before you know it, it's won the markets. What are markets? What are companies? What are companies when Sam Altman is destroying every startup every 3 months because they're using AI to build AI? So the product iteration cycle is so fast. The capital velocity and destruction cycle is unprecedented. It actually looks more like meme stocks. You start a business, it gets traction, gets attention, gets capital, gets disrupted. Some one, two, three may survive, but most won't. So the capital cycle becomes immensely short and very violent. And we're seeing that in meme coins. We're seeing it in ICOs back in 2017. That's where the world is going. The capital markets are not ready for this. VC is not ready for this. Private equity is not ready for this. The buy and hold of let's nurture this company ain't going to fucking work. Yeah, they're going to have to tokenize this shit. And it is going to be complicated. How do you accumulate wealth? What does the stock market mean in all of this? Does it just move up and down with global GDP because the machines are in total control of everything and they understand every single nuance? Where's the edge? Where's the alpha? What do we do? I don't know. You see, it becomes so complicated to think through the economics and investing choices that I just think, well, I think that's probably going to come by 2030. Certainly, we'll see the changes where we won't quite understand what's going on. Much like we didn't really understand what's been going on after 2008, after the great debt refi. So, I think if that's the case, then we've got 6 years. 6 years of fucking clarity. We know what we got. We've got crypto and tech. We understand the everything code cycle. We understand there'll be a down year, 2026. I don't think it's a recession year. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Don't really care. I think it's more likely to be like the mid to late 90s, which is a sideways consolidation correction year. Yeah, sure, crypto will puke because it does anyway. But maybe not. Maybe because of the 401ks investing in Bitcoin, that it goes down 40%, not 80%. I don't know. We'll see. It doesn't really matter to me. I'm also going to put out a video about, I think it comes out tomorrow actually, about when to sell, because that's the question everybody asks me. And it's not an easy answer, but that video comes out. So that's there as an evergreen piece, when to sell, when to get out, when to do what. But we've got 6 years with one down cycle in the middle to get to 2030. That's the game. The game is to be asking the robot on the beach, hey, can you bring me a bowl of almonds and maybe a nice pina colada? As opposed to trying to figure out your fucking shit of how you're going to pay your school fee. What does anything mean? I don't really understand anything anymore. How do I invest? My 401k doesn't work. Nothing works. Now, it sounds melodramatic, but it's not going to be. It's not 2030 as a D date. It's a doom date. It's after that things are going to get really, really fucking weird. They're already starting to get weird. So it's something we talk a lot. I think David Mattin's just put an update on the platform, on Real Vision platform. So I think it's available to all members. It might only be to exponentialist members. But the exponentialist is a product I wrote with David, um, put together with David Mattin, who works with me at Global Macro Investor, to specifically address this. How do we make money out of it? And what does it mean for us? What does it mean for our jobs? What does it mean for our kids? It's a phenomenally interesting read. It's incredible. It's just very different to the usual kind of markets-based stuff. You're going to get it and you're going to cherish it and read it every month. So I urge you to take a trial of that. It's like realvision.com/6 years. It's really fucking good. It'll just change your life, make you think, and you'll be more interesting at dinner parties, which God forbid you need because you're quite dull. So if you can go and talk about AI in the way that I did, and that's how I got Rick Reader on the platform. It's fascinating. I went to one of our members' houses for dinner in Palm Beach, and Rick Reader was invited. I sat next to Rick, and it's like difficult. The guy's a macro god, and he kind of didn't know me, even though we had a lot of mutual friends, which I was obviously upset about and hurt my ego. I'm like, do you not know? So the conversation turned, and I got the AI bit, and I gave them the whole thing, and the fucking table was like, holy shit, because people haven't thought it through. They're watching soundbite snippets, they're reading something in whatever newspaper, they're not thinking it through, and you are not thinking this through. You're honestly not. What a time to be alive. It's amazing. It's going to be terrifying. But anyway, just go and take a bloody free trial, realvision.com/6 years, because there is 6 years, I think. And again, it's not hyperbole. It's not, oh, no, Agora style copy shit. It's true. This is how I'm thinking about it. What do you invest? Somebody came up in the conversation in Pro Macro today. It was like, well, what the fuck do I own after I sell out my crypto? And you get to this realization that you don't own bonds or equities or anything because you don't really know. I ended up buying high-end NFTs. I know I owe you guys all a piece on what I've been doing with Xcopy and Beeple, but there's a big thesis behind that. Again, it's not just a flippant thing. I think it's going to be lifestyle. It's a 60-40 portfolio. 40% lifestyle, just keep banking that. You want to live. You want to live. You want nature. You want friends. You want to live in a nice place. And 60%, you're going to have to run crazy, stupid fucking shit in crypto and technology and the kind of volatile world because everything else, I just don't know its future. I honestly don't. So anyway, that's that. So I've talked way, way, way too long for an AMA. So we can run a bit late because the lawyer's not coming until for another hour and a half. So let's start getting some questions. So again, I'm going to repeat the thing. Firstly, subscribe to the YouTube channel. If I don't get this over like 70,000 by the end of this, I'm never turning up again. Or maybe I'll drink water and a bag of crisps, salt and vinegar crisps. And then we'll see whether that works. Sorry, my wife's interrupting me in live. So what are you after? My vape. Sorry, she has a nicotine addiction. I don't, obviously, because I'm perfect. So like wine, I want your wine recommendations on YouTube. Come over to realvision.com. Let's have some fun. We're going to ask some questions. I'll run a little late so we can keep going because I know a bunch of you in different places. Europeans are all shit-faced because it's really late now, and I appreciate you because you always are here. There's always a few Germans hanging out drinking beer, and I appreciate you for that. The Americans are now kicking into gear, starting as ever what they do with whiskey. It's not a before dinner drink really, and it's not a during dinner drink. We've talked about this as well. It's an after dinner drink. But anyway, I can't educate a nation of 350 million people who threw our tea in the harbour. I just can't help you. Okay. I'm going to start randomly. Peter Linton. This should be fun. Speaking of fun, nice to see Roaring Kitty wake up. I'm not sure it's him, actually. I think it's somebody else running that account. Not related. I have no idea. I think it's very clever because they're not naming any securities, so nobody can be done for pumping the market. And yes, maybe it's all fraudulent. However, just what I'm actually interested in is why this matters. And it matters because it shows you the speculative fervor. And people say, oh, well, they need to jack up interest rates. No, it's because of fucking interest rates. It's because of the broken economy. It's because of the debts, because of the wages, because of the debasement. That's why people have to speculate. They've got no hope. And what it's showing you is how desperate people are to make money. And I'm so pissed off with people saying, well, look at that. These fucking snide mid-curvers, baby boomers, like, well, they're just speculating. What do they know about anything? They don't have anything. They have to take risk. They have their 401k. They do what they're told. They're left behind. So you can either spend 108 billion or whatever the Americans spend on the lottery with a 1 in 300 million chance, or maybe a 1 in 20 million chance of winning $1 million. Or you can go to the meme coin casino or the meme casino. You'll have better odds. So I'm not going to judge people for any of that. And I think it's important what's signal. Now, I think something weird is going on with this. Maybe I'm wrong because, I mean, my God, the power of this. Again, the staggering power of memetics, narrative, plus desperate people. This is what produces it. And if you get that right, you can make a lot of money. And you're all going to get, and some people go, yeah, but they're all going to get burned. Well, fuck me, not all of them will, right? Every single person who buys a lottery ticket will get burnt, except the 1 in 300 million. Vegas, the house always wins. And anybody can go to Vegas. So I will not take that shit. Not that you gave me that, but I just thought it was a really interesting question, something I'm really passionate about. Read my tweet on this. My pinned tweet is all about this. Brian Clark, toasted almonds ready. No almonds today. I need to broaden the snacks I'm showing you. I'm just too lazy to go and sort it out. So it's usually just raiding the cupboard beforehand and then toasting something quickly in the oven. When banana zone, talked about this. Soon come. It's a Cayman Islands expression, soon come. Shafiq, any new opinion on Ethereum? It looks like it would be treated as a security. Nah. It's the usual, just the SEC trying to slow everything down. They won't manage it. And who cares? Well, the last thing I checked, GameStop was a security. It's just fucking gone up 150% in 2 days. Nobody cares. It's just noise. It's mid curve. It's the classic, the most mid curve thing. Regulation. The other mid curve one was, well, look at energy it takes to mine Bitcoin. So mid curve. So ignore the mid curve. Warren, always enjoy drinks with chat. My name's Raoul, not chat. Drinks with Raoul. First time watching RB on the platform. Warren, I love you. You're a very, very fine man. And I appreciate your generosity of spirit for joining us there. Enjoy the platform. Go and look around. Some cool shit. Look at that world, that globe. Click on that and expand it. And you can see the members. You can zoom down to single towns and you see the members. We've got people in Lesotho, people in Angola, people in South Pacific, people in, I mean, literally everywhere in the world. It's mind blowing. Hey, whoever's showing this, zoom in. Just find a stupid place and zoom in on it. It's just incredible. Find a random place. Go to Africa. We're in America. There's a lot of Americans. Let's go somewhere in Africa and let's see who the members are. So I don't even know what country we're in right now. Uganda. We've got members in Uganda. I mean, I love Real Vision. And you can contact all of these people. If you happen to be going to go and see the gorillas in Uganda, hey, go and contact your mate in Uganda. He's on the Real Vision platform. I love it. I love it. It's just brilliant. Nothing else does this. Okay, next. Okay, I'm so far behind in the questions. Quentin Baumgardner, happy pre-CPI day, everyone. Yeah, it should be weaker. We do a lot of work on this. It should be weaker, but fuck knows. If it is, the banana zone may start. Cheers to that. Betsy Malone. Cheers. Hello, Betsy. Oh, Christ, I'm so far behind. Okay, I'm going to scroll down. I'm sorry. Mark Hawkins, no need for YouTube. I'm subscribed. Mark, you're a gentleman and a scholar. Um, Bernadette oversharing about charts. Peter Kostanovsky. What about Sui? I'm on the foundation. Can't really shill it. It's still not performing very well because there's a bunch of token unlocks. I think it's a amazing project, amazing technology, amazing people. The advice I give for you is just look at the Sol Sui cross. And if it starts turning against that, it's interesting. That's the best advice I would give you. I actually like it. But that I like it, but I'm not commenting about the price. Uh, Jeff White, you say that you like ETH versus Sol. No, Sol versus ETH and Sol versus Bitcoin. Sorry, got them the wrong way around. What do you see in those charts that makes you bullish? How can you tell it will outperform? Okay, there's just a lot of technical analysis. It's chart patterns, looking for breakdowns, looking for divergences when they start breaking up against a falling wedge and stuff like this. There's a lot that goes into that. It's technical analysis, but you just need to watch this stuff like a hawk and learn to do it. It's very important. Chris George, the RV platform is so much better. Thank you, Chris. Again, a gentleman and a scholar. Um, James Jackson, thank you for liking the cowbell meme video. Yeah, it's a brilliant video, Chris. It was amazing. I loved it. Alexandro Palmer, what is your price range for Sol in 2025 at a 95% confidence level? Are you fucking kidding me, Alejandro? 95% confidence in financial markets with a price target. This is no, just all of that is wrong. Every single part of it. Do your own work. And I'm going to be wrong. And then you'll go, but you said it was going to go to blah, blah, blah. And you lost me money. I'm not interested in that nonsense. 95% price target. That's the worst. That's the worst question I've heard in a long time. Thank you, Alessandro. I still love you for it, but I'm just trying to get you guys to think yourselves. I am no guru. I say that clearly. Alejandro Palmer. Alejandro again. How can we benefit from what's happening in AI? Do you have any top three plays? So it's all in pro macro. It's all in the exponentialist. I talk about it all the time. So have a look at some of that. It's free. It's a free trial. Just go and steal the portfolio. Um, Ewan McGregor. You're clearly not Ewan McGregor. You may be, but you're an imposter. What are your thoughts on ETH? Just found this. Found another six this week in an old wallet. Uh, all of my ETH is in NFTs. I don't have any ETH as a trading position or investment position. I have a lot of NFT, of these high-end art NFTs. I'm not thinking of it as ETH. Um, I think normally ETH last cycle started outperforming Bitcoin, started basing around now, the kind of May, June transition into crypto summer. Really doesn't pick up till later in the year. If that is the case, I'm expecting that. So um, I'm still think it's going to outperform for a while, but not yet. It's just figuring itself out. Bernadette, you're not boring us with crypto. Thank you, Bernadette. It's lovely that you're here. Um, Andreas Werner, Raoul, what's your take on AI interference? And Tesla's one of the leading, if I understood what AI interference was, and Tesla, one of the leading companies in this regard, I'm super fucking bullish Tesla. That's the best answer I can give you. James Jackson, tell Laura I love her. Tell Laura, well, she won't love you, James, unless you go and follow that link that I gave you. I'm going to repeat them because she'll say, James, he's all talk, no trousers. Realvision.com, RVC launch, or realvision.com 6 years. That's how you make Laura appreciate you. If you don't, you're just another worthless person on the website. Jeffrey Mussat, feels like everyone's expecting this generational move in crypto in the next 18 months when everybody expects the outcome and an investing outcome that never happens. Why is this different? Look, there's a validity to that, but you need to understand why it happens. It's to do with liquidity, and there's a lot of research, but basically it's down to the governments can't pay the interest on the debt, so they have to inject liquidity. That's a 4-year cycle. It's not some magic mystery tour that crypto la la landers do. It's a real thing. So I don't think that stops. Could I be wrong? Of course I could be wrong. I've been wrong a few things. Um, Trevor King, Matic is down 50%, while Solana is up 20x in the last 16 months. I know. Last season's narratives, just avoid them. Timothy Harris, Tim is always around. He's always a good guy, always on the platform. Real Vision Crypto is an outstanding product. Go and get it in the Real Vision marketplace. So that's realvisiondecrypto.com. You can't use that, Tim, please. Laura's going to kill me. Can't just give away the marketplace link because then I don't get accreditation. She'll say I'm terrible at my job. It's all ugly. realvision.com/RVC launch. And somebody's going to go, well, God, on YouTube, well, this guy's always shilling his product. How the fuck do you think I get paid to make this? Do I just think I just do this? Do you think I buy $100 bottles of wine just because of the sake of it? No, just keep you guys entertained, and you need to pay me by coming to Real Vision so we can employ all of these lovely staff. We've got 2 people on this call, you don't see them, who I have to pay them. I mean, Paul is South American, he's very needy. And Mario, we've got to look after these people. Okay. I'm going to scroll down a bit because I've been Marcus Marcus made a few comments. Exponential age is incredible. Thank you. Favorite wine, Peter. That was for YouTube, not here, but I'll accept it. The Standish 2003 Barossa Valley. I should be going to Barossa in see my friend Jack Burston in June soon. I'll be in Singapore. I think we'll organise an event in Singapore. I'll be in, I think, Sydney, Melbourne, and Perth. So I will come and see you guys, and you can teach me how to drink beer for breakfast. I think you call it piss in Australia, which is, I think, it's so civilized. I'm proud of you. Okay, moving down. Chad Hines, hey, Raoul, any thought on BRICS? Any opportunity for resale investors there? Look, of the BRICS, there's only one that counts, and that's India. It's a fabulous economy. It has the perfect demographics. It has low household debt. It is the strongest economy and one of the fastest growing markets. We're entering the period where emerging markets tend to do well. We need the dollar to get weaker, so they should do well. Hi, Raoul. How's the missus doing with her climbing? Are you still enjoying your freedom? You shouldn't hear that. She's from New Jersey. She'll kill me. She is currently training for Denali. Denali is a very difficult mountain and you should follow her on Instagram, Raoul Pal. She likes it. She's kind of millennial. She loves people following her on the internet. He says on the internet, looking for followers. But Raoul Pal, follow her adventure. She's not been posting for a while because she's been training. She's trying to keep off Instagram, but she's climbing Denali next. So Denali is the highest peak in North America. It is fucking cold. It's really miserable. She has to carry a sled with her all the way because there's no Sherpas, no camps. So it's actually a very difficult trek. So she's dreading it. So she's literally doing 3 hours treadmills with weighted backpacks, and it's crazy shit. And sleeping in a depleted oxygen tent in our spare room. And she's even set up her desk, her working desk, or a chair that she works from, in this oxygen tent that mimics being at 10,000 feet, and then she ratchets it up as she goes. So it's extraordinary thing. So she's got Denali in June. I'll see her in Spain in July. She's also doing Mont Blanc in July, and then she does. Next up is Everest next April, and then the one in Papua New Guinea, Carson's Peak, later on. So yeah, she's training hard. So she's still here right now. So can't talk about the freedom yet. She goes in June, but then I've got to travel to Australia and Singapore. Raoul, I've had this question a lot from a lot of people. Do you think converting ETH to Sol here is still a good idea? Yes. Sol will perform the whole cycle. Doug Stober, this is a really fucking important question. Okay, Doug, I respect your forceful language. What brand is your t-shirt and where do you get them? Hard to find that neckline in the US. This, my friend, is a Real Vision shirt. It's a don't fuck this up. Go to realvision.com/merch Here I'm shilling something else again. Merch store's fucking cool. There's all sorts of good stuff. I wear this stuff all the time. Don't fuck these up. Hoodies. I've got just it's just really cool. So the shirt's from there. Generally, I buy my shirts from John Vivatos. My t-shirts. Um, just don't buy that. There's this weird linen one. They look amazing. They're so beautiful. They cost you like eye-watering money, and you wash them once, and they're the size of a postage stamp. Fucking worst things in the world. Like, but all the other stuff, the John Vivato stuff, I really like. You get some great necklines. They're all a bit looser, or the V-neck stuff like that. They're very cool, very nice. So that's that. Okay, God, got a lot of questions. Ether's a security. Don't mid curve it. Anything, and it's a security. Anything regulation, you're mid curving it. There are literally 8 billion people in the world, and Americans aren't the single most important people that ever lived. Although you might think so. Um, Crypto is a generational protest. Stan Askew. Young people versus boomers. The fact that most boomers hate it is a bonus. Yes, absolutely. We all want our rebellion. And I love the anger because it makes me laugh. Adrian O'Sullivan, number go up. Thank you. That is the least mid curve comment that we've had so far. Um, okay, going down. Jenny or Gen I. I don't know who you are. Gen I, Gen E. Um, do you like natural wines, Raoul? Trying anything from Frank Cornelison? Yes, I do actually. I actually really like natural wines. They're different. Also like there's some organic wines from Spain. I can't remember the grower now. Paras Baltas. Really nice. Yes, I do. I enjoy them. And they're much cleaner. They're less kind of overdone. Ryan Pride, the team at Real Vision keeps putting out innovation after innovation. We're trying our fucking best. Um, Brit Strong, money printer go burr, price goes up. Thank you, Brit. This is the left side of the curve. This is what matters. Um, Bloody hell, there's a lot of comments. Thank you all. If you're on YouTube, you're missing out because we all the cool kids are hanging out on Real Vision, and everyone's going to meet each other. They're probably going to have a party, drink wine together. And you guys on YouTube, you're just going to be Norman no mates. You're just going to leave YouTube. You go back to your sad, slightly warm can of lager in the fridge. It was probably opened yesterday, and wonder why everybody in Real Vision is having fun. Um, BMNY, I don't know how to pronounce that. Do you think government central banks would delay the destructive part of debt demographics, Dalio's 80-year empire cycle, blah, 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 death of end of the world? I'm wildly bullish. Just debase the currency, financial repression, just own the assets that go up, make a shit ton of money. And then we debase the debt away and we'll be okay. Gone is the risk of the 1929 end of the world. They've taken that entire tail off the economy and of markets. It's like the best macro risk taking opportunity of all time. So I'm super happy. Uh, Anthony Grupuso, you sound like a Guido, Anthony. Of course, you married a Jersey girl. I knew there'd be a reason I liked you. Probably a Guido. But they're pretty tough. Pretty tough, you know. They swear a lot. They shout a lot. I love Nish. Um, Douglas Vincent, old school question: are bonds dead in the water? No, I think bonds will do fine. Gone are the days of the buy bonds where diamonds trade because of the issuance. But I think they'll be fine. Um, we'll see from the CPI tomorrow, but I think it's fine. I think they have to bring yields down to trend rate of GDP, nominal trend rate of GDP. So if trend rate of GDP in is 1.75% in real terms, add trend rate of inflation at 2.5, you get to roughly where they need to get to, and they need to get to below. So that's what, let's call it two, that's 3.25, call it 4%. They're currently above that. They need to get below to have financial repression. So I think they're coming down to 2.5 on the low end. So there's a trade there. But just when you look at other trades, some of us need to have bonds, we need to run portfolios, your RAAs. I get it. But well, Trey Poirier, kill one, fuck one, marry one. Marry Bitcoin, fuck Sol, kill ETH. Um, John Bain, at least we don't get scam ads like you do on YouTube. I know it's a happy place here, Real Vision. Um, Raoul, would love to know your vision for Polkadot. Do you think this crypto project is a good opportunity? I see so many updates yesterday. So Gavin Wood interview is out Friday. I don't have a position in Polkadot. I've always been interested in it. I've always believed in what they're trying to do. There's a massive overhaul coming. Let's see how they do. But super interesting. And the Gavin conversation was fabulous. Really good. He's a really great guy. Lovely. We've got Spaces coming as him too. That was Paul Gary. You didn't hear him. Paul came like the voice of God, and there's a space coming. So we got Twitter Spaces for those of you who don't get a chance to watch the video. Guja Viper, do you think Near will pull a Solana from last cycle? I don't own Near. I don't really know enough about it, but it comes up as a name that could have been one of the Solanas from the last cycle. It's in that list, like the Sui, Celestia, Near. There's a bunch of these, so it's possible. Andreas Veska, Raoul, thinking about savings, what percentage do you keep in the bank versus long-term investment in crypto? So, so what I keep in the bank is what I need to pay the bills for. I'm literally not joking. I don't have a very, very, very little cash savings in dollars because look, if you're in the banana zone, that's going to cost you a shit ton of missed opportunity. Now, that not everybody should think like me. Don't take that from me. I don't know your own position, but that's how I do it. Um, Jack Hiker, not going to fuck this up. Thank you, Jack. Hopefully, you've subscribed to the Real Vision Crypto, maybe the Crypto Academy, and maybe you're going to not lose your mind when we hit the banana zone and you want to buy the most stupid shit in the world. You're going to keep this. Um, the exponential portfolio in crypto or only stocks? There's actually a couple of cryptos in it just to represent it. It's mainly stocks, but there's I think it's mainly ETH and Bitcoin right now. We're not trying to replicate what's in GMI or in Pro Macro. Um, Bob Geyer, love the Rioja Alta recommendation from last time. Fantastic wine. Thanks, mate. Honestly, if Merceau is one of the great white wines of the world, so I think you'd enjoy that too. I'll try and blend it up, but I drink a lot of Rioja. I have a lot of. If we can do these later than 3:30, I'm not going to fucking tuck into a bottle of Chateau Margaux at 3:30 in the afternoon. That's crazy. So if we do these a little bit later, then I can have some nicer wine. Um, Final question. Timothy Alginger, I'm contemplating shifting my Bitcoin mining company stocks to Tesla at the peak of the banana as best as I can determine. Is that too long to hold out? I don't know. Just the best thing to do is run your chart of Mara versus Tesla and see it that way. That's all I do. I'm no genius on this stuff. It's not like I'm looking at forward-looking earnings. I draw the fucking chart, and then have a big thesis on it. Anyway, we have overshot. We've had a lot of fun. I've tried to educate you guys and really appreciate again as ever. Please sign up to the YouTube channel. Just press that bloody button. Notifications help. Leave me your best wine recommendation there. That gets the comment section alive. That means I'll come back. Because if you don't, then I just won't come back anymore. And that would be heartbreaking. Those of you who came across to the channel for the first time, welcome to Real Vision. It's a fucking revolution. We've built something incredibly special for you. And the best thing about it is the community who's here already. They're amazing people. So really, really enjoy yourselves. It's free. You'll have fun. And then look, if you need some help in the crypto, you don't want to fuck it up. You got the details for that. Don't need to shill you yet again. And the exponentialist, that is for people who really want to think this thing through and they want to be the smartest, most engaging person at a dinner party and get to interview Rick Reeder. That's all I'm saying. If you want to interview cool people and hang out with cool people, you need to think cool things and learn cool stuff. Anyway, that's it. My wine's finished. I've still got a few nuts left. I've got something coming for dinner. I need to have a couple of coffees, make sure I don't get shit faced too early because he's the lawyer. And, these things are bad. Thank you, everyone. Love you all. Don't fuck this up. The banana zone is coming. Enjoy and take care. As ever, thanks.